Hello YouTube, Tucci back. Leeds, super retro game video market, I think that's right. January the 30th, absolutely brilliant. I am full of cold, feel rough as a dog's ass. I was kind of on the way yesterday morning, I weren't feeling great. And I woke up this morning and I feel absolutely god awful. Many thanks to all the new subs. Please go and check out YouTuber of the year now. YouTuber of the month closes today, so if you haven't put a vote in for that, please go and check the channels out and put a vote in. Equally, YouTuber of the year, go and check that out. If you haven't seen the channels there, go and sub. I'll apologise if I sniffle, sneeze, cough, blow my nose, etc. Yeah, this might not be my most lively video ever, put it that way, guys. But I want to get this done because otherwise I'll forget a lot of the stuff. And there's a few people that need thanking, etc. For them that see me yesterday at the bar drinking coffee, no, I wasn't taken over. It's not Invasion of the Body Snatchers shocks. I said before, I'm not sure if you've seen the video, on the wagon. And yeah, doing alright actually. You know, it's a little bit, with all the lads there, it was a little bit tougher, but not too bad. And Paul, yes, I know the last video you see me and I was drinking, that's because that was recorded before. But yeah, there's coffee. And actually I can feel my voice going, so if it starts breaking up and I start going, oh, like a quiet boy, you know why. So anyway, just say thanks to the subs, I think I did, didn't I? So what a day though. It was a long ass day, absolutely brilliant. As per usual, awesome people, awesome company, and a great event. So I'm best to do this. I've got some footage, I haven't even looked at it, to be honest, lads, people of YouTube, I haven't looked at it. So I don't know what it's come out like, how much I've got of it. I didn't do a great deal because I say I was kind of going a little bit downhill. But I did do some. Oh, I'm fucking struggling. I did do some. I've got some at the start, so I'm digress. This is going to be an absolute train wreck of a video. So, bit of a backstory. Essentially, I wasn't going to go to this event. I was always aiming for the Doncaster one in March, which I believe's the sort of other retro market that the other half of Retro Collect, I think they split up or something, or fell out or whatever, did. Because being after Christmas, you know, you don't know what your funds are like, you don't know what's happened, you know, your boiler could break or anything, couldn't it? So I always sort of thought, no, I'd leave that one. Oh, don't play up, I've just seen the camera go out of focus, don't play up. I thought I'd leave that one. So I had no plans of going until Alex from Nintendo Arcade said, oh, any of you lads fancy, you know, any of you guys fancy Leeds end of the month? And I was like, oh, I don't know anyway. Well, I'm coming up anyway, so you know, I could grab you on the way through. And I thought, well, if he's offering a lift, you know, worth going. It's only £2 to get in. Have a mooch about, even if I've only got, you know, a couple of quid on me, it's not too bad. But then events obviously overtook Alex, so he had some issues with an investment. I think that's probably better to explain it better. Investment that didn't sort of happen, so he was a little bit short on funds himself. His daughter had chicken pot, so that was the death knell in the coffin, basically. I just sort of said to him, look, don't worry, pal, stay at home kind of thing, because it's a long ass drive for him as well. But then the problem is, in my head, I'm thinking I'm going. So, you know, as probably a lot of us do, you kind of start wheeling and dealing, spinning a few wheels, getting a bit of you know, small little pot of cash together. So in my head, I'm going to Leeds Retro Market. So I looked at the trains because it's quite last minute-ish. You know, look, fair old chunk of change to get there and back. I put a post on one of the Facebook groups, and Tim, bad fuck up, Tim Millard, very kindly said, look mate, I'm going past your place because we're going to a game shop that I'd kind of heard of, he'd never heard of, along with Chris Moore. So they always do these like retro road trips where they go to all the bricks and mortar shops. So they're quite well schooled in, you know, what's where and all this kind of stuff, which isn't, you know, I've got little to no knowledge of any sort of real brick and mortar stores. And these guys were like, well, there's this one here, we're going to it. Apparently they were always going up north, and it just so happened that the retro market was on, so they thought, well, we'll go there anyway. So anyway, long story short, Tim and Chris, well, Tim driving, very kindly offered to grab me on the way through and run me up to Leeds. So all I had to do was get the train back, which absolutely brilliant, you know. So huge thanks to Tim. You know, saved me a good couple of quid there, pal, and you know that. And I owe you. I know you sort of said I don't need to bother, but no, you know, I always pay my debts. A Lannister, a Tutu always pays his debts. Yeah, but it was a great little drive up with Chris and Tim. The time went like that, to be honest. We made really good time actually, even though there's a lot of roadworks on the way up into Leeds. We still did okay, but I'll come to that later. So, say Tim and Chris were always going to this sort of retro shop, brick and mortar shop, and I sort of said to him, I said, oh, do you know if they do like trade-ins? Because some shops would do. Some shops are probably less likely to be accommodating to it. He went, yeah, bring a bag of tat. You never know. So I did. I'd sorted out a lot of cube doubles. Nothing spectacular really. Harry Potter's, Sega Bass Fishing. It's not Sega Bass Fishing at all. It exists on the GameCube. Top Angler. Games like that. You know, I was probably thinking maybe £1. I think it's about 20 of them. I was thinking maybe £1 each, something like that. A load of PS1 games, probably again about 20 or so. No real stellar titles in there. You know, stuff like Rayman, good games, but nothing that's gonna blow your fucking doors off. A couple of 360 titles. I think I had about 7 or so 2600. Atari 2600 duplicate carts. I think it's in the video. I think when I pulled the bag out, Chris had a quick look and I think he videoed it. You'll see there's nothing amazing in there, but I got a fair old chunk of change in store credit because that's what, you know, I wasn't interested in the cash. And again, there is some footage of the shop. Extreme Games kindly allowed us to film. Oh, my sore throat's going hoarse now. And yeah, it was. When you looked at it on the ground floor, it's 2 floors. Looked at the ground floor, there's a lot. The cabinet, everyone has the cabinet. And there's always more stuff upstairs, and that's where, you know, again you'll see in the video, it's like a little Aladdin's cave. So it was because Chris Moore is going for a full Mega Drive set. He's getting the numbers down now. He's well below 100. So he was quite happy with the selection that was there. So yeah, I left the guys to collate, you know, the bag of stuff that I put in. We had a walk round. I come back down and said, how are we doing? He went, well, and to be fair, there were sound lads. He went, well, it was 117 quid, but we call it 120. So I had 120 quid store credit. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't fucking believe it, honestly. So I was well happy. So I'll just go through what I grabbed from Extreme Games, and to be honest, like I said to Tim and Chris afterwards, if I didn't pick anything up at the Leeds market, what I got here was worth it on its own. You know, I'd be happy to go out at that point. So for me money, actually, this hasn't got the price. I probably took the prices off. So it was a bit of a mixed bag, a little bit of Nintendo and a bit of Sega. So I don't suppose it particularly matters. There's some obviously more choicy titles than to others. One that I didn't have, obviously all the sort of boxes on the shelves are empty. To be fair to the guys, they do put on there if it's missing manuals or missing the booklet. So if it doesn't have stickers, I want to send that. It's got the booklet. Spot goes to Hollywood. Probably needs a case swap, I think it does. And the manual's missing the front bit, but as you can see, I think that's why it was only a £5. I think that bottom bit there, yeah, it'll do. It's It might be able to clean up a little bit, but for a £5, and again, the way I'm looking at it, I didn't really pay anything, although I did because I bought the other stuff before. But do you know what I mean? It's not come out of my pocket direct. It was just all stuff that was doubles or that I'd already had. That is a double, you know that. Or stuff that I didn't want, which wasn't a great deal to be honest. Like I say, it's mainly all doubles. Then the Mega Drive game, The Duel. Now, the reason why I grabbed this, people are saying, well, that's not a great game. I've got it loose cart, but because it's these ballistic boxes, you know, you can see a picture of them, but until you see them up close and turn in the corner, none of the corners are split. It's got the manual, it's got the flyer for the other ones, Double Dragon, Super Off-Road, it's got the Rego, and it's got the game in the cart. So a lot of the cart look, it's been used quite heavily, but again, I've got a loose cart of that, so my cart might be better, and that'll just get transplanted into that. So yeah, it's not the greatest game, but I say it's one I didn't have from there. Not a bad price. I'll show you the price tonight. £8. Happy with that. Right, now I'm going to leave that one. Chris looked at this game, and I think he said it was something like, I've got it, but he wasn't sure what the condition of his manual was. I think he said his manual. I said, well, I do need it. Well, I'll just take it then, because obviously he was paying cash for his stuff, and he was very mindful in that shop. Oh, what if I find stuff at the fair? And me and Tim just sort of said, look, if it's here, you don't want to be leaving it, because you'll only kick yourself afterwards, because that's sod's law. So for £13, great game in the arcades. There's a second one to this, both Neo Geo titles, and it's King of the Monsters. I'm not sure how the Mega Drive version squares up to us. I've got a feeling it's a bit of a damp squib, but a lot of you shouldn't. Hopefully, would recognise King of the Monsters. Again, complete. Yeah, manual's a little bit dog-eared, but I mean, that doesn't bother me too much. You know that, guys. Right, now this title, I was looking at this in Wolverhampton from Rich, Retroactive Gamer. Here comes the rain. And I ummed and ahed, because I think if I'd bought it from him at that point, that would have cleaned me out of the money. So I was sort of, weirdly enough, it paid to hold off. This is a back going rate, even at the Leeds Retro Market. This is what most of the guys were selling it for. It's in great condition. There's a little bit of edge wear to the bottom, a bit of shelf wear where the inserts slip down. You're going to get that with a lot of these hard case. You get it with Mass System, you get it with all the Mega Drive titles. And after all that, it's Subterranea. So a bit of a shooter. 18 squids. Not one I've played before, to be honest. I did look at this in Wolverhampton, but I mean, this is absolutely, in terms of the manual and the cart, very, very good condition. So the only thing is, I don't know if you just see it just at the bottom there, a little bit. See it just where the inserts drop down a tad, but you ain't gonna get him, you know, unless it's absolutely perfect. You're always gonna get that. Knock it out. Right. Oh, where's the other game? So one that I got chucked in along with another, because I end up going back, I think he sort of said it's 102 quid, something like that. So about 18 quid left. And I've seen this one in the glass case, 15 quid. I thought, well, I ain't got it. I'll grab it anyway. And it's Captain America and the Avengers. Great condition. You can see all the label. It's a SNES cart. So I grabbed that, and because I had a look at the Game Gear games I had, but they're all stacked up in the cabinet. And so I had them all. It's all your sort of commonish ones. And he goes, "Oh, we've got some box ones here." You know, and as with anything that's in the box, it all get a little bit battered. This one was probably the best condition. One that I think all the others I'd got actually. Even the boxes like Sonic, Donald Duck, and Echo, I think. And this was the only one I didn't have, but I've got it loose cart. So, well, you Chuck do a deal for Captain America in this, for the difference. He said, yeah, fine, so it's Pop Hills. It is missing the sort of tray. I'm not sure if I've got another double that I can nick the tray out of. If anyone's got a tray for a Game Gear game, give me a shout. But yeah, it's you know, it's a pretty decent little sort of platformer puzzler game. Like I said, one that I've already got, but not in the box. So the Game Gear is a little bit of a side collection. I think I mentioned it in the room tour. If I see the loose carts, I'll grab them if I haven't got them. I am waiting for the Retron to bring out an adapter to play them. I was talking to a few lads about that. Okay, last two titles from Extreme Games. So, although I sort of said them come up to £102, those that are very good at maths probably realise, but that didn't quite add up. Stu, you're still missing a fair chunk of change there. You're correct. So, I'm going to do probably the pick of the bunch, or well, not the pick, but the one that costs the most money, and then show you one that's not very expensive, but there's a little bit of a story behind that one. For 50 quid, like I say, fair old chunk of change. It's money that I wasn't really expected to have, so I thought, well, I might as well get the, you know, get a big ticket item out of it. It's Battletoads Battle Maniacs. All complete. It is missing a tray, unfortunately. So again, I'm probably gonna have to. I know there's repo trays for these on eBay, and it's cardboard. I'm not too fussed about a repo tray, trust me. But yeah, I don't know if you can see that. It's 50 quid. Now, I've got a feeling this is kind of like a hybrid port of the NES title. I've never played it. It looks very similar, but I could be wrong. That's unusual, I didn't know Rare had changed their logo, look. Anyway, yeah, so it's all there. It's got the manual and etc. So a little bit of squishing on it, but fucking hell, the Super Nintendo boxes, didn't they? They all do that at some point, unless you've got, you know, a Sentinel case. Yeah, see, that's one thing I always think's missing from these events. So I might have to look into that. Buy a load of, get a job lot of Sentinel cases so they're half price and then sell them, because they're quid each, aren't they? On eBay. You clear up at them events, you know. Just have a stall that just sells, like the plastic covers, Sentinel or whatever you want to call them. Plastic boxes. Anyway, so the last title from this shop, I looked at it on the shelf and I was like, Jesus Christ, 8 quid's not a bad price, because all these, this is an N64 title, all the other ones were, you know, 15, 20 odd quid. This one was like 8 quid. And I picked the box up, because obviously it's an empty box. And I was looking at the box and I was like, it's got to be repo then, that's why it's 8 quid, you know, they know it's a repo box, so they're just you're basically buying the cart for 8 quid. And I checked on my phone, and it's the one that I didn't need, the one that I didn't have, sorry. So this completes all the Turok titles now on the N64, all boxed complete. And I showed him the box, and I was like, does that look legit to you? And he was looking at it, and he was analysing, he was going, and then I said, like, because at the front it's kind of like an embossed font. I said, I don't know if they can do that now, because you don't know with repos, they're very, you know, clever people. We were running around, he goes, well, take it and ask them. So I took all the games down, and then I showed him this one. I said, is that a repo box? And both the lads started laughing. He went, it's really good condition. And I said, yeah, is it a repo? He went, no, there's a bit of a sad story behind this. I was like, all right. And his other mate basically said, an old couple came in with a load of N64 titles, so obviously missed the boat there. And the son had died 2 years earlier, and he used to work in Curry's. And apparently what he used to do was take the games out and store the boxes safely and just play the cards. Hence why the condition is like nigh on immaculate, and it's probably the best condition N64 game I've got. And like I said, fortuitously, it's the only one I didn't have, and it's Turok Rage Wars. I'm pretty sure this is the multiplayer version of it. Didn't receive too well, 8 quid, but I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, even Daz sort of said it looks like no one's even opened it, because you know you normally get the sort of thumb in here or there. very minor like edge wear. It's absolutely unbelievable. I think the worst you've got is probably just there. Look, you can just see it, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like I said, I don't think it's the best game. I'm pretty sure that's the multiplayer version. I'm not sure if there's a single player campaign on that. Oh dear. But yeah, absolutely fucking made up. So for a bag of stuff that I keep saying well, I don't know if we all do this, but I do. Like when I was having to get the GameCube collection, I might have to buy 6 games. I think I showed them in the video to get one that I needed. Stuff like that. I'll tell you what else was in there was Pokemon. Was a Pikachu game. Yeah, so that's a little bit of money there in terms of the GameCube ones. But it was a job lot that I bought to get Shamu. So I got my money's worth out of that. So it all adds up. It all comes back round. So happy as fucking Larry. So yeah, Extreme Games. Go and check them out. Ashby de la Zouche, I think it's called. Quite difficult to find, down a little alleyway it is. Again, it's all in the video, you'll see it. Quite interesting if you watch the video. There's a certain individual who apparently is homeless that clearly didn't want to be on camera. I wonder why, because he's probably not meant to fucking be here. But never mind. But you'll see that in the video, it's quite interesting. Chris didn't see it, me and Tim did. And I think I might mention it, you might hear me on the camera. But anyway. So yeah, again, big thanks to Tim. And awesome to go up with him and Chris. It really made a journey go like that. Boom. So yeah, from there on, again, you'll see some footage. Trundle away up to Leeds. To be honest, I think Extreme Games wasn't supposed to open till 9:30, so we dropped lucky. It was open, I think, 20 minutes early, which really helped us because we made good time, even given all the roadworks on the way up to Leeds. And the weather kept turning and it kept going bright. And you'll see anyway. But yeah, we landed in Leeds about 11:20, and where the lads' hotel were, because they're staying over the night, we couldn't kind of come past the town hall, and we all looked at each other and went, the queue's still there. So in actuality, we weren't that late at all. So by the time we dropped all the gear off and dropped the motor off, got all the gear out of the car, walked over, the queue had just gone down. When I spoke to the lads afterwards, apparently what they were doing is letting in batches of people anyway. So instead of standing out in the cold, we just kind of rocked up and walked in. So it was absolutely fucking heaving. It really was packed. I know I've watched Colin Tatari Fitness's video, and it was too deep at the tables, which made it very difficult to get to look at stuff properly. You kind of felt like you're being shunted along the roads, and some people have got bad fucking BO, man. They've got some right body odours on the go. I said to the lads, next time I go and take a can of Lynx, I'm just going to randomly start spraying people. If you like this, like, or just stand behind them and go. Fucking need to check out, man. Their personal hygiene, real issues. It felt like it's on you, man. Like, Jesus Christ. So if anyone's got this from being too close to me, I apologise. I don't suppose being in there didn't help me either, to be honest. But I had this before I went. Well, it was on its way. You can feel it bubbling up. Your throat starts going. Your nose starts going. Your sinuses start going. You don't need to know that. Anyway, so like I say, the event was absolutely heaving. I couldn't even video, to be honest, because it was just that packed. So a video towards the end, you'll see it looks a lot more thinned out. Yeah, you'll see that. So a couple of bits that I got off the lads. One was a pre-arranged trade with Craig's here again. That we were meant to complete in Wolverhampton, but obviously Craig couldn't attend that. So we did I'd like to sort of say, look, keep hold of it till we meet again, so to speak. He'd found this. Was it after Manchester last year? It was, because that's when I gave him a different version of this that he needed, and we had this one, but he's seen it in CEX. I said, well, you grab that for me, and then we'll call it quits. And it's another one of the Street Fighter Collection pads, 15th anniversary. It's obviously the Chunners in excellent condition. So that's 3 I've got now. I've got Ken, Akuma, and now Chunners. I think it's Ken I've got up there. But yeah, these are great little. They're not very expensive this year. It's about £8. Absolute fucking steal. Really, really good. You can get these for the Xbox, but I mean, for me it's the PlayStation 2. And then the last thing from my mate Daz, well, my mate Craig as well, but my mate Daz, all my mates. I fucked up because he wanted a couple of memory cards for the place. I said, yeah, I'll bring you some. I was going to post them. I said, well, I might as well leave it now. I completely forgot. I do apologise again, Daz. I said I'll bring them to Leeds. And he sort of said, oh, and I thought he'd said, oh, if you've got a GameCube controller, like he's got his Wii's back down from the loft, bring that along. I said, I'll have a look. And I brought one, but he said, and apparently he said I wanted a black one. And I thought he was joking. And he's like, no, really, I wanted a black one. And I was like, you ungrateful bastard. But I starts again. I'll have a check through, Daz. If I've got one, I'll bring it to Doncaster. So I took a purple one up. But anyway, he very kindly has got me one of these wallet things. No, it's a Monster. I think these are like trading cards. But essentially noticed that I'd nearly filled my PC Engine wallet. So that's all they are. They just slot into these things. So yeah, I might be. I don't know if I can. Oh, where's that? I was like embossed. I could probably get a PC Engine sticker to go over that, couldn't I? A bit like what Horatio did with the other holder. So yeah, awesome of Daz. Many, many thanks. Right, so sticking with people. So don't forget, I did write all the names down because, like I say, my brains are a bit muddled. So read off a list of people that were there. I'm pretty sure this is most people I've seen or said hello to. Hang on, I've got one on there as well. So Tim and Chris, we've got Daz, we had Jay was there, Shock 16, Craig's here again obviously, Gus Newton, Matt, Soulfunk Retro, Paul, Russ's Nate on the back wheel, Paul C, good to see him again. Lee Retro Game Addict, didn't really give him a chance to speak to Lee Retro Game Addict. He was quite quiet. Well, it was when I was at the bar. But to be fair, I didn't. I wasn't at the bar. I mean, I had two free cups of coffee at the bar. But yeah, bizarrely, I was doing a lot of walking around the place this time. I was speaking to a lot of the sort of vendor guys and that, because when you start attending these events, you get to know them. And then another lad that popped up that's kind of watches on YouTube is Simmy Simco. So awesome to see you, pal. And I know you did quite well with recognising someone, so well, fair play to you. So a couple of the Salas, Sore Thumbs, great to have a chat with him again. Ricky from Warp Zone Gaming. Ricky, man, you let me down with the stuff. Yeah, he said, I've got some choice cube titles, but I was down to 4. I've bought another one this morning, so I just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna get this knocked down. So I'm actually down to about 3 once that one comes through. And then there was a guy who basically I think he put the whole event together. He was part of the event organisers, Steve Smith. So I bought some off Steve, but basically the story goes he was putting something on Facebook about the event and sorting stuff out, and he was getting rid of a lot of his retro gamer magazines. And Rich King Retro went, oh yeah, I need a couple. I'm missing a couple or something. And Steve said, oh well, let me know which ones you are, and you can have them. And Rich was like, yeah, but I'm not going. And he's always the arse end down in Cornwall. He's like, oh, that's a shame. And I said, well, look, I'll pick them up for you. Just let me know. Thinking it's going to be, handful. Ends up being like, I don't know, 120 or something. So Steve and his wife, I can't remember what her name is, bless her, they brought me in a suitcase. So I was there with a couple of bags for life and whatnot, and the lads very kindly sort of helped me, but helping Rich really. get them. And Tim very kindly has kept them in his motor because he's going to Blackpool. So he's going to put them in storage for Rich until Blackpool. Or I said to Tim, if you pass in my house, because I said Tim goes all over the shop, and you want a shot of them, just drop them back in here. So Rich, your magazines are fine as long as I think Tim's going to have a good read of them. But yeah, they're fine, they're in storage. So yeah. And then yeah, I think that was it. Oh no, there's another chap that I'll come to in a minute who very kindly gifted me something. But yeah, no save data, that's his name, but I'll mention him again in a mo. So yeah, in terms of the event, it was absolutely heaving. Absolutely fucking rammed. Oh, there was another chap that I know, and if anyone was there buying stuff, he was in the little room. It's called, I think it's called Allow Cool Games. So it's Lewis. So me and Lewis, I'm thinking of having a bit of a sort out of the garage and getting some doubles. Basically, I've got quite a lot of systems like loose Mega Drives and SNESes, and I might be putting a little bit of a stall on with him. I think out in Doncaster, because he just said to me, he goes, "It's fucking no-brainer. You ain't got to piss about with eBay. There's no fees, no charges." You know, so it kind of makes sense a little bit. That's a rough plan. I mean, I remember Dad saying this the last retro market. He goes, you know, even he was contemplating doing that. So it's something to think on. But nice one, Lewis. I do appreciate it. Lewis was going to give me a lift up as well, but obviously his moat was jam packed full of goodies. I think that's everybody. If I've missed anybody out, do apologise. Oh, the guys from GGG, Gavin, who I often say hello to, and the other chap he knocks about with, they were there. You'll see it all in the video anyway. I'm pretty sure I've got most people on the camera. Yeah, usual console passion was there. You know, the guys from that stall. I think that was it. I don't think there's anybody else. If there was, I apologise. Anyway, what did I manage to grab after all that fucking waffle? Quite a fair chunk of stuff actually. So we'll probably start with what's going on in the background. So from a chap, he was one of these little. So what they had in the first one in Town Hall is along the corridors you had all stalls. This time they didn't have as many. They only had like one, sort of 2/3 of the corridors full. One of them was empty, whereas last year there was all stalls down there. I don't know if that was a conscientious decision or if it's just the fact that not enough people had put in, you know, for a stall. But anyway, this chap was down with these little sort of side corridors, and I looked at this game and I thought, I know that's quite a sought after title, well, and the price looked okay. But I sort of ummed and ahed, and I said to him, "What's the best you can do?" And he knocked £1 off. And then he did the thing, well, I could sell it on eBay, and you know that just puts people off a little bit. And I was like, that kind of just switched me off a little bit from him. I was, well, whatever, because I don't know. I don't think that's a very good sales tactic, personally. Everyone knows eBay. You don't need to fucking ram it down people's throats. That's my personal view. You know, people that say I can get this much on eBay. Well, just put it on fucking eBay then. Don't bring it to these places. Again, that's just my personal view. It's not having a go at anybody, you know, anything like that. So I sort of walked away, had a look around, and I bumped into Jay. And I said, "Oh," because Jay's got like a very, he's a bit like me. He knows bits of a lot of different things. Obviously, he's got what he knows really well. I said, "What do you know about this game on Mega Drive?" He went, "Not a great deal, to be honest." He said, "Have you checked eBay?" I said, "I haven't really, to be honest." Truth be told, I just wanted people's views, because sometimes people say, yeah, it's a fucking great game, even though it goes this much on eBay, it sounds like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was kind of looking for, an answer like that. Yeah, that's about what it goes on eBay, but it's hardly ever on there. If it's on there, it's not on there for very long. And I went, I don't know, I ain't checked. So I did check, and to be fair, the guy was a little bit under eBay. He was right what he said in terms of what he could sell it for, which was probably about 5 or more. And Jay went, "Well, to be off 24 quid, you can see it, you can look at it, you can check it. It's not a bad price." I went, "Well, no." I said, but then I didn't want to get to that stage where I'm impulse buying. So I had another thing, and I walked past the stall again a little bit later on, probably about 10-15 minutes, and I thought I'd just have another look on the rest of it, because I tend just to target certain systems, like the cartridge stuff. I don't really look at disk space, which is kind of a bit of a mistake. I think a lot of us do that. And I looked at the PS1 stuff and seeing this game, I thought, obviously I know it from the Neo Geo, which you'd probably see it running in the background now, those are more astute. And I thought, that seems like a good price. I didn't check it, so it seems like a good price. If I think it's a good price to me, if it is or isn't, I'll be happy with it. I looked at it, it's absolutely fucking perfect condition. So I said to the guy, he still had this other game. I said, I know you got 25 on that, you got this much on this, what can you do for the pair? And he went 35 quid, so basically you knocked £1 off each one, essentially. This game that's running is Viewpoint. So yeah, 12 quid on that. So this is a weird one. This, I think, when I checked when I got back, just in case, it can go for 20 quid, it can go for 8 quid. But again, this is absolutely, I mean, even Daz looked at it, the manual is crisp, discs absolutely superb, and by all accounts, I'm pretty sure this I don't think this has got slowdown. I could be wrong, because I know some of the Neo Geo games, when they're converted, like Metal Slug and stuff like that, they can tend to struggle. I'm hoping, I haven't done any research on this, people tell me, someone's going to turn around and say to me, you shouldn't have got Viewpoint in the PlayStation, it's got terrible slowdown. But yeah, it's an isometric shooter. So yeah, 12 quid on that. And the game that I was umming and ahhing about is Ranger X. We had 25 on it, which is a good price. You know, if you've seen this, if this was on eBay, no doubt it would sell it for 25 quid. And it's in great condition. So I've got the pair then for 35 quid. Not £2 off each one, but I was happy enough, you know. So that's that one out of the way. From Steve Smith, the guy who's running it, obviously I went and fucking picked up that massive haul of magazines for Rich. I was looking through his bits, because I said to his missus, I said, I'll sort them out in a minute, the magazines, I had these bags, I'll just have a quick look, see what you've got on the go. So I had a quick scan around his stall, and I see this one in a different pile. I was like, fucking hell. He had like 12 quid on it, and I said to his missus, oh, would you do 10? I don't think Steve knows this. She went, oh, I'm not supposed to. Steve says not to take any discounts off. So I'll come on, not get rid of all these magazines here. So she was like, yeah, all right. I don't suppose Steve would mind too much. But it is Yeez, Wanderers from Wise. Wanderers from Yeez. Yeez, Wise, whatever. Easy. But yeah, US cut, doesn't bother me doesn't bother me at all. Nice RPG. Talking of RPGs, I kind of fucked up a little bit, and I ummed and ahed too much again. There's Lufia, Fortress of Doom. I wanted 35 on it. The box was a little bit battered. There was no map. Again, coming back here, checking it, that was probably a good price. I should have grabbed that. But having said that, I'm sure I've got, I can't remember which one it is. I don't know if I've got Lufia 2, 1 or 2 on the Famicom. I can't remember what they're called now. They're called something different on the Famicom. I just translate it, just put the translator on it. I can't remember what it's called now. Well, I can see the name in the head. Ateria or something like that, I think it's called, but they're the Lufia games. So yeah, just when you see the American ones in the boxes, because I think Lufia's only an American release. But anyway, for 10 quid, I was more than happy with that. So thanks, Steve, if you're watching. I don't know if it is probably watching. Probably didn't know who I am. Other than I'm just the guy that goes and collects the magazines for Rich. Right. So I talked about this guy. This is right towards the end actually, because again my train wasn't till later on. A lot of Jay's train weren't till later on. And the guy sort of very kindly escorted me back to the train station. Thanks for that. Because before I don't know Leeds that well. I mean, I could have fumbled along, but when it's someone that sort of says, you know, you've got to go here, there, and everywhere, it makes it a lot easier. So we were sort of milling about right towards the end, about half 5, I think it was. 25 past 5. And I say, a lot of the stores you couldn't get to in the, you know, at its height. So it's difficult to actually sort of stand and look at the stall because you kind of get shunted along. And there's this stall there, and I remember him from the Leeds Marriott, and I think he watched the video, and I can't remember him putting a comment, but he did say he put a comment on there, and I was looking through his Famicom titles, and he went, "Oh, I've got that game for you," or something in his box. I said, "Oh yeah, I remember digging them out. I should have had a finder's fee for that," joking around. And he went, "No, remember I told you I was going to give you it." I was like, "What?" He went, "Yeah, on your video," because I watched the video. And I completely forgot, so I do apologise. And it's no save data. And he very, very kindly gave me Bonk's Adventure 2 on the Super Famicom. So I mentioned before, he had a box of loose Famicom titles. And I was just digging through them as I do. You know, I like a good rummage. And I pulled these 2 titles out, and he went, "Well, they shouldn't be in there." And I thought, fucking hell. The 2 ones that, 2 good titles in there. And but no, he's very, very kind. I mean, he's a bit of a clean. I can get most of that off. It's not going to get all of that off, but I can get most of it off the Soprano Pal. And if not, I can always get a shitty Famicom title and swap the back over. So, I don't know what your name is. I think he's a Geordie lad. No save data. Many thanks, buddy. Yeah, and he's mentioned that he's moving out. So if he's back and he finished moving out, he's do some videos. So I'll pop over and check your channel out. Oh, got my head. I could do another drink. Can't be bothered to pause the camera. Go straight through. Straight through. Right. Do this one. This is the first thing I picked up. I don't know. Yes, because this is a good segue. I did this on purpose. So at the Marriott Hotel, that lad, the No Save Data, he had a game there that I was interested. Remember, I was thinking again, those that may or may not watched it. I was trying to sort of see if he didn't collect GameCube games. I had Fire Emblem. I was looking to just try and trade it out for a few bits that I wanted, and he had a particular game that I was after. But it wasn't, it wasn't for him. And I think he wanted 45 quid for his game. To be fair, and I said this to him, and he agreed. His box was a little bit rough and ready. He weren't like battered or anything like that, but had a bit of wear to it. So that was it. And then when he spoke to me, he goes, "Oh, did you get much?" I said, "Yes." "Do you remember last time you had this particular game?" And he said, "Yeah." So, "Well, I've got it here." I said, "Without the manual, but I've got the manual at home," which I have actually. I should go and get that. And I said, "What was yours for?" What was yours going for? He said, "Oh, 45." I said, "Well, I've got this for 35, and it is the mighty Indiana Jones." So, as you can see, it says 37.50. I asked the lad, "Look, would you do 35?" He said, "Yeah." I mean, that's not bad. There's a little sticker there, residue. I can get that off, not a problem. It's got the tray. I say it's just missing the manual, which I am now going to. Right, we're back. Reunite. There we go. This is I can't remember where I got this from. Someone sent me a load of manuals. A load of SNES manuals. I can't think who it was now. But yes, that's great condition, that is, as well. So well happy. Because I am a huge indie fan. I'm sure I mentioned this in the video, Bloody sure I did. But I've been watching a few of these on eBay and about 50 odd quid. So for the grand price of £35, I have a very nice copy of Indiana Jones, and I think this was the only one that I could see anyway at the event. So fucking well happy with that. Probably that's my personal pickup of the day, to be honest, because it was one that was on my list to get. So very, very happy with that. Right, a random Game Gear game. Like I said, if I see him, I'll get them for £2. Fucking one I didn't have. It's Factory Panic. No, nothing about it. I think it's a little puzzler. This is the thing with the Game Gear. This was never released on the Master System. And if they can bring out that adapter for the Retron, there's a lot of nice little Game Gear titles, and obviously the Game Gear's got better colour palette than the Master System as well. So yeah, That might be a little side collection. Not saying I'm going for another full set, but it's definitely a little side collection that I've got. Just rumbles on it, £2 a cart. You know, I mean, not going boxes. Boxes don't bother me. Loose carts all day long. I know Craig likes his Game Gear as well, but he tends to get the box versions. So I'm not fussed too much in that respect. Right. Now I'll do these first. A couple of Mega Drive titles. One I've swapped the box over. I know I threw it away. It was mangled. The guy's there. I've actually got a picture. I'll show you a picture. So it is Atomic Runner. So this is a box swap. You can see a fair bit of wear. Well, fair bit. Enough wear. Now compared to the picture, which is here, that's a lot better. Inside it's actually fine. It's just some idiot decided to stick tape on the box. So I've got Atomic Runner, which was, I think, bizarrely £12. I think it was £12. And Super Highlight, which is a tenner. Again, this is in great condition. So it's £22. I've got these two for £18. So £9 each, which is not bad because I just basically said Atomic Runner's fucked. Because it did look rough as from the outside. The guys, yeah, fine. So yeah, another couple of Mega Drive titles knocked off the list. Quite early releases as well. These are, yeah, because this is 1991, 1992. So a couple of the early ones. Right. No trip to a retro market would be complete without some NES/Famicom love. So I don't know what it was. What was I looking for in this store? There was a game. I think it might be this game that drew me in. Or was it something else that was overpriced that I'd seen? I can't think now. This store had a particular game that I'd sort of looked at. Oh, and I was like, oh, it's a bit overpriced for what I want. And I started looking for all the other ones, and they had like an NTSC tub of NES titles. I started looking for a few. I was like, well, that's quite interesting. And then I seen this one here. There's a story why I picked this one up. Because I said to the lads, I said, don't laugh. So they all started laughing. And I just went through and picked a couple out. And essentially I got them all £5 each, which is probably below, because you've got to get these from America, the NTSC. I think all of these are only released in the States, bar one, I think. And that particular one in the PAL is what sort of sparked my interest. So one of the games that I was looking for, I mentioned this to Jenny, oh yeah, I was looking, I'm after that one. The B wants the Famicom version, which is Ring King, or the King of Boxers, as it's known in the arcades. He's got fond memories at the arcades, so have I. You know, we chatted about it. Big oversized gloves, the afro hair. You can run around when you smack them and you spin around, or they bounce off the ropes and stuff. Great little boxing game, absolutely brilliant. But when I was looking for it on eBay, obviously you put in Ring King, and it brings up anything that's slightly related to it. And this title popped up, which is a wrestling game, which is called King of the Ring. And when I looked at the price of it, I was like, Jesus Christ, because normally it's the LGN rainbow of dog shit. You know, they're not very well liked, they're not, you know, in terms of value, they don't hold a great value. But this particular one seemingly did. Obviously on reflection, it's probably because it's the PAL version, but nonetheless, doesn't really bother me too much. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to grab it anyway. And then I went through the same little box and just picked out a couple of games. I said, oh, what's your best you can do on these? And to be fair, the guy was really helpful. I said, do you know anything about them? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, do you know what type of games they are? Because obviously some of them I ain't got a fucking clue. And he was really sound. He got his phone out and he showed me like a clip of a particular game. I was like, right, that kind of makes it. I said, I didn't think it was that one, but I thought it was one of the three kind of genres it could slot into. Obviously, the other two I knew, and the other one here I'd seen before, and I can't remember where I'd seen it. And again, I think this was an arcade game, but I couldn't be sure. And again, it showed me the little clip off of YouTube, and I was like, yeah, I'll have that. So all four for £20. So the game that I've sort of got, which is a wrestling, which is called King of the Ring. So Bret the Hitman Hart, I think he's still alive. Yeah, as you can see, LGN Rainbow of dog shit. But yeah, the PAL version of this is ridiculous money. Again, £5. I think it's even cheaper than the US version. And obviously, if you look at it on eBay, you're talking your postage anyway. Obviously, any customs charges. This one, I'm pretty sure, was in the arcades. I've got a feeling it was in the arcades. And it's called City Connection. So I said to him, it's like, I'm not sure if this is a top-down racer, but it ends up being, it's like a size, it's like Uni Rally. Looks very much similar to Uni Rally, from what I could sort of see. But something about the name, I don't know. Just, I thought, I recognise that. One that I obviously do know, and most you should know as well, is Karate Champ. So, it's by Data East, yeah, it's Data East game. In the arcades, 2 joysticks, you know. Played that in Manchester actually. Me and Ellie did. One of the joysticks was broke though. And then the other one that he checked for me, because again I'd seen these in Manchester, a couple of these type of games in Manchester, and you can't, unless you know the game, you can't work out what it is. I mean, it's set in a certain, you know, fantasy Dungeons and Dragons-esque type thing. From what you can see from the label, that's about it. This is Dungeon Magic, Sword of the Elements. So I wasn't sure if this was a traditional RPG. Was it like a Zelda 2 side scroller, just with, you know, like a hack and slash? But it turns out it's like a dungeon master sort of dungeon crawler, like Shadowgate. Yeah, and that was £6. So yeah, all four, £20, £5 each. Like I say, even if you've got them cheaper from the States, you're probably looking at £8 postage per game anyway. So nice little mementos, you know. I like that. I like to sort of be able to sort of say, yeah, I know where I got that from, unless my failing grey matter lets me down. Right, I'm going to leave one particular title to the end. It's not anything great, but it's a bit of a milestone. I'll do these 3 next. This is Jay's fault. It's Jay's own fault. We were chatting away, and he sort of he was on about Famicom titles, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've seen Fantasy Zone, and I've seen Hypersports, obviously like Track and Field, over in one of the stores, £18 each." I was like, "Oh bloody, I ain't buying them." But we were playing Track and Field, or me and Craig were on about Track and Field over in the arcade club. Is quite, he likes that. Obviously, he's got it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got the arcade version of it at home. But yeah, everyone loves Track and Field. And Jay was talking about it, he's like £18, like, ooh, you know, a bit steep for me. So to be honest, like I say, even with like NES and stuff like that, Famicom stuff, I'm not too precious about the box. If I can get the box stuff, then great, but it's not an essential thing for me. And there's a stall there, and I can't remember what it's called now, some like Japanese. Daz had bought some stuff off from before as well. I think the lady's name's Leanne, but I spoke, the hubby was on the other side, she was doing like Saturn and something else, and he was doing like Nintendo stuff. And yeah, the tub on the floor, it was full of Famicom titles. I said, "Are these all priced up?" He says, "Yeah." So I like a good rummage. Yeah, that's just who I am. That's what I'm about. And there's another lad there, he was rummaging in the box, and I just thought, well, I'm just going to get in there, because otherwise I'll be here all fucking day. Like I say, it was that way, it's just too packed. So I started rummaging anyway, and I found a couple of titles. And I checked at the back, they've all got little prices on, and some, you know, there's a couple that I was interested in. When I turned them over, like £15, £17. I was like, fuck that, not even for a loose cart. And then I found these ones, and I thought, they've got to be the same ones. They've got to be. And then randomly, I sort of saw this. I was going to get 4 and see if it basically ended up working out £3 each. So I was going to get 4 and see if I could do a tenner on them. But I couldn't find another one for that you know, that was that interesting. But I'd got this one because I thought, again, I don't know if they changed the name. It looks very familiar from the artwork. Anyway, transpires was on the train coming back. It's completely different. It's not what I thought it was, but it's quite a weird, unique game, and I'll come to it in a minute. But the 2 that I got, and when I showed Jay, he was like, "You bastard!" So I beat £18 a pop. So I have got, not that you can see what they are, but I've got the 2 track and field games. So the first one, and I'm not sure which one's which. So you've got Hyper Sports. I think Hyper Sports is track and field, and then you've got Hyper Olympic. So there was track and field 2, I think. So is it something like that? So these are like the 2 versions. Is it? What's the arcade one called? It was Hyper Sport. Oh god, I'm getting confused now. But yeah, there's two track and field games, and you get different events on each one. And I can't remember which one's which. So all to tell me. But anyway, essentially I've got both of them. So they were £3 each, and this one was £3, which is called Sky Destroyer. You can see the £3. Look, £3, £3, right? So I said to the guy, "Oh, what's best you can do on them?" And he went £7. I was like, "Fucking sold." That's what you want, you know. He ain't gonna knock it down too much because they're only fucking £3 each. But that, I was more than happy. So I thought this looked very similar to Fire Shark. I was talking about Twin Hawk, but it's Fire Shark. I thought it looked like, I thought it might be NES or the Famicom version of Flying Shark. What's Flying Shark? Anyway, turns out it's not. This is bizarrely like an on-rail shooter. So you're behind the plane, and I'm guessing you just move the target, and you've got to blow stuff up in World War 1 or 2. But you know, you got to try them ones, haven't you? Taito title. So again, that's what I thought. It must be an arcade port, but it's not. But it looks like decent game. What, for fucking £2.50 or whatever? Can't be bad. So the last one, last game to round it all off. At this point, brings me down to 4 cube titles. Obviously, I was looking for the games. There was 2, this one and another one, which I thought I might have seen. So I need Avatar. I did look on Console Passion, because if anyone would have them kind of import games, it would be them. They didn't have anything. There's Avatar, Kokoto Kart Racing, Gadget Racers, Street Racer Syndicate, and this game. So this game's knocked off the list. I did think there might be a chance I could see Street Racing Syndicate. At one point I said to the lads, I fucking thought I'd found it. There was a stall, had an empty box, half empty box on the floor, with like some magazines or whatever thrown in. And obviously I know what the label looks like, and I could see half the label, and I thought, oh fucking hell, it's there, great. And I went down and picked it up with all like the joy in the world, pulled it out. It's a fucking PC version of Street Racing Syndicate. I was like, no. And the guys up to me, I said, I thought it was a GameCube game, because it's one of the last handful that I need, but it wasn't to be. But the one I did pick up from there, this has gone up in price. I'll tell you this much for now. This is the last one that Dunk needed, and when he sort of said in his video it's the last one he needed, and I checked on eBay, it was about £22. And I said, I'll buy you the fucking thing for £22. This is a good price. It's more than this on eBay now, I'll tell you that much. There was one I put an offer in, and the best the guy come back was £32, excluding postage. So when I saw this for £30, I thought, I'm going to get it. I can check it over. It looks fine. It's from one of the, I can't remember what the guy's stall's called now. But yeah, decent enough. So Namco Museum, 50th anniversary, £30. Does it say who it is? Retro Plushie. There you go, Retro Plushie Games. I bought a couple for Manchester off of him. But yeah, so I'm down to 4. So Avatar, Kokoto Kart Racer, which I've just bought, so that's not 4, it's down to 3 now. Gadget Racer, and then Street Racer Syndicate. So we'll see. We're down to 3. 3 is a magic number. But yeah, happy to get that. Say £30. It's a good price. It's below eBay, and I think they're only going to go up. What I did notice I've been noticing a lot of is a lot of people collecting Dreamcast, a lot of people on the Master System. But overall, a brilliant day, a really good day out. I think these events are only going to get bigger. If yesterday was anything to go by, it was rammed. It was, like I say, it was too deep. but really good. It really went really quick as well, because I mean we were in there just after, like I said, about 11:20, give or take. I didn't go out because last time we went out and had something to eat and come back and stuff. But the time just flew by, you know, really did. I don't know what I was doing, to be honest. I was just chatting to a lot of people, to be fair. Really, really enjoyed it. So all the lads that were there, great to meet you, as always. An absolute blast of a time. And thanks to all the guys who put the stalls on, Steve, and all the vendors that turned up. And yeah, and thanks to Lewis as well, mate. Hopefully we'll sort something out for Doncaster. And yeah, if you can get yourself down to any of these retro markets, I would strongly advise you to do so. Deals are there if you dig deep enough, and if it's your thing. You know, some people didn't pick anything up because it might have been what they were looking for, but they did. They had everything. Well, actually quite interesting. They had a stall that was just selling action figures, old school action figures like Star Wars and all that kind of stuff. That was quite good to see, actually. So yeah, take it easy, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.